has become better for these two over the course of the sixth game. This being the sixth game where both of them have batted together, Smriti and Pratika. Just a simple gift to the left-hander from Sargent.
Second over in a row, she's bowled a full toss. First up, Freya Sargent. Frustrated with herself. I think the plan is definitely to take the pace off, but just didn't finish the action. That's easy pickings, especially in the power play. She can just free the arm of Smriti Mandhana. No one out on the leg side, but it was 6 all the way.
Yes, Frey! Yes, Frey!
Well, 4 in fact. Apologies, but follows with a single.
It didn't quite time it, but since there was no deep fielder. But these are the sixes Smriti hit back to back against Arlene Kelly in the previous over.
A quick single. Well, there's one thing being hit for a boundary or a 6 when you bowled a full toss. It's quite another when you bowl it where you meant to bowl it and you still get hit for 6. You feel like that was almost what happened to Arlene Kelly. Maybe could have been a few inches shorter or fuller on both occasions, but she was in the area she wanted to bowl. But Smriti Mandhana just too good. I think it's really clear today that Freya Sargent's bowling a lot slower through the air. She's inviting both Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rawal to create the pace, trying to entice them, looking to take the wicket, which is absolutely fantastic to see from an 18-year-old spinner.
Yeah, you mentioned, Izzy, in the previous game that she will be watching keenly when Deepti Sharma is in operation. The sorts of variations, changes in pace that someone has experienced as Deepti. 100 ODIs to her name. The variations she uses. And is applying herself very nicely here. The end of the power play, 90 without loss, India.
Few spinners in the world that you'd prefer to learn from than Deepti Sharma, so experienced, her 100th ODI in the last game, and a wicket-taking option for India in every format, and an all-rounder to boot.
One of the best start for India. 90 on the board in the first power play. And I say the best start in a while, certainly in this series. Dempsey replacing all of Prendergast. Arlene Kelly from the media end.
Yeah, good to see Georgina into the attack a bit sooner today than in game 2. She opened the bowling in the first game. I asked Gabby Lewis why that was after the second game. Was it because of the left-hander? And she said no, she just thinks she bowls better in the middle overs. So I think that maybe how Arlene Kelly was taken down the last over will have prompted this change.
This is how India has gone about their business so far. They've been absolutely brilliant. 12 fours and 2 sixes. Unfortunately, Ireland, they haven't quite had answers. Just one chance going down. But overall, India has been in the driver's seat. Imperious shots. Very much in control. Showing us all parts of the ground.
It's like the tour of the Naranjan Shah Stadium, courtesy of the 2 out in the middle. Perfect temperature for cricket. And today, I think Ireland will be pleased it's a little bit cooler, even though it's not that hot here. They've definitely felt the heat, especially game 2, and they were toiling for 50 overs
there are conditions in the country if you go around where you'll get even more humid conditions. Fortunately, it's a nice time to be in the country. As I mentioned earlier, it's a festive season, and in certain parts, it's a lot cooler or cold.
Yeah, we've been tickled to see the beanies on the heads of the tuk-tuk drivers, and it's mid-20s. The kids having jumpers on them when at 4 p.m. It's getting a bit cold, put a jumper on. You wouldn't dream of that in Ireland. You'd have to get the vitamin D into the skin while you've got the opportunity.
You can see jackets out, scarves. Slightly cooler, a little chilly this morning.
They're in the shade, so I'll give them that. I think I'd probably have a jacket on today if I was in the shade. I'll claim it anyway. No one will ever know the difference.
Yeah, it's the first time that the Indian women's team are playing an international game at this venue, at the Niranjan Shah Cricket Stadium. Had a 3-match series against the West Indies last year, even though it was 15 days earlier or 20 days earlier in Baroda.
Well, you'd imagine that they want to come back, India, after the batting conditions they've enjoyed here. They'd take this pitch with them if they could.
One more. Not enough timing on that from Smriti Mandana, but the elevation allows her to come back for a couple of runs. 94 without loss.
That's big enough.
A 6 to Sky. Mr. 360 in full flow. What a shot.
That is just power.
8 sixes in this century. Banged away. Tilak Verma. That's out of the ground. Emphatic India.
India versus England. First T20I. 22nd January. Only on Disney Plus Hotstar and Star Sports.
Early in the old, Jemima Rodriguez, a centurion from the last game. Tejal Hasabnis. Everyone will be waiting. If they get an opportunity, how would they go about in the centre? Pratika Rawal, what an outstanding start to her international career. There are not many players in international cricket who can boast of a run aggregate of close to 330 or 340. At present, she's on 327 and counting. Thailand's Natagan Chantam had an impressive start to her international career. 322 runs in her first 6 innings for Thailand. Pratika Rawal, this being her 6th inning. She's crossed that and doing much better than what you expected of a debutante. So certainly making a strong impression, Pratika Rawal, in the company of Smriti Mandana. Comes very rarely, but that's a nice effort from Laura Delaney.
Yeah, really good effort from her. Those ones are very difficult to pick up in that position, mid-off, mid-on. Judging the depth, it wasn't a chance, and actually she did so well to turn the hand on it and actually parry it back to Freya Sargent, who, having spoken to her yesterday, she said that one of the things she's loved about this trip is the crowd and the battle between some of the batters and herself, something that she really enjoys. And it kind of gets rid of her nerves, I think, because she's in such a battle. She's so focused in on the batter down the other end.
There's a battle brewing right now also.
Well, no two bowlers are alike, but these two aren't too different. Freya Sargent and Deepti Sharma, a slightly different load up, but really the big difference is how far away from the stumps Freya Sargent is when she releases it. Deepti Sharma much closer.
And Deepti Sharma starts a lot more side on than Freya Sargent, so sometimes can get more revolutions into the ball. And getting that pivot. She can get the pivot into the delivery as well, Deepti Sharma. A bit more than Freya Sargent.
She's up for the challenge there, Smriti Mandhana. Interesting point you brought up there from Freya Sargent. Izzy will talk more on it. 98 without loss. How far away she is in comparison to Deepti.
Yeah, she starts a little bit wider, and it might be because of how front on she is. So she doesn't quite finish off her action, I don't think, quite as much as Deepti does. Deepti comes right around over the front leg. And you can see Freya Sargent stays a little bit more front on. So something that she will take a look at, no doubt. Maybe she just feels that when she's angling it in, Freya Sargent, she keeps it a little bit tighter. And she'll enjoy watching that back, no doubt. I know her mum will be at home recording that. She's a student of the game. Has two relatives who've played for Ireland. Freya Sargent, one aunt played for Scotland and the other played for Ireland, as I said before, in 1997, the World Cup here. But yeah, her mum Sandra manages the teams back home. The Huffle, and her little sister Gemma, I'm sure, is at home thinking, when's it going to be my turn?
Family affair. Irish cricket.
This story's getting a little bit old, isn't it? Talking about everyone's family. Not everyone's family, I don't think, in the team plays necessarily. But of course, Laura Delaney's brother plays internationals. There's Emma Paul and Rachel Paul, Leah's mum and sister. At breakfast this morning, they said, make sure that you give us a shout out. So thanks so much for showing them there. They'll be pleased.
A shade quicker has been Dempsey. A shade fuller has been Dempsey. She's trying to get underneath that ball, Smriti Mandhana, but that room has not been available to her so far.
Yeah, really interesting point, because it's quite clear that Ireland are learning which bowlers work in these conditions. So, I mean, it's another area where Ireland need to learn. And Georgina Dempsey, it looks like, is effective.
Good run. Nice single for Pratika Rawal and India, and 100 comes up as well.
The fourth 100-run partnership in the last 6 innings. They combine extremely well, the right-left combination, but also the sorts of areas both of them hit. Marked differences.
Excellent over. 100 without loss, India.
जो प्यार था,
Will you marry me?
उसने धोखे का मतलब सिखाया। तारा, आज तुमने शिवा की मासूमियत को ही उसका गुनाह बना दिया, जिसका हिसाब ये अभिमन्यु लेगा। मैं तुम्हें बर्बाद कर दूंगा तारा।
Watch the new season of SA20 live on Disney Plus Hotstar, Star Sports 2, Star Sports 2 HD and Sports 18 too.
Sargent will continue.
Easily the quickest opening partnership in the series. And the first 50 and second 50 coming almost at exactly the same speed, just one ball in the difference. It almost feels like these two just had a drinks break and came back out after the last game.
The mini battle brewing. Sargent pulls out because of a
50 for Smriti Mandhana. Her 31st half century for India.
And I just love this from Smriti Mandhana, the way she goes about her cricket. Just needed one, knew there was a big gap down the ground. Didn't make too much of it, make sure you get to the milestone. It's something that she's used to doing, raising the bat for passing 50. And she'll be desperate to go on and make it 3 figures, but she's once again laid the foundation for this Indian side.
And she's made it look so easy. Her fluency through the offside is known, but as we've been talking about her leg side game, she's really shown it. She's dismissed the ball from her presence at times over the leg side.
It's about playing the ball on its merit and also understanding that if you're in good form, how fluent and how better can you become with each and every outing in international cricket. This is possibly the first time where she's had that license to go out there and bat the way she would want to bat in the kind of form that she has been in. Not just trying to construct an innings, trying to make an impression. Just like that. The stroke making continues and the fluency as well for Smriti Mandhana. 107 without loss.
Well, as we've said so often in this series, Smriti Mandhana sets the platform. She's been in particular very good down the ground, played from the crease quite a lot, dismissed anything that's loose, but in fact she's dispatched anything that's in her area. Not afraid to play in the air. She's so useful when you're playing in the power play. Get another 50 for Smriti Mandhana. Well, she can play all around the ground, but that leg side through mid-wicket where she's really made Ireland pay also looked her elegant best over the offside and through it as well.
Another half century for Smriti, second of the series. Another 100-run partnership, fourth in the last 6 innings for these two. You got 41 in the first, 73 in the second, and now 54 not out of 41, Smriti. Yeah, that's the area. That's the area for Pratika. She plays a lot of her strokes in that region, the point or in front of point. Something that we've spoken about. Very open face of the bat, how she sets herself up. If you look at her wagon wheel through this series and you realize how many runs she scores through that point region. They got 31% of her runs in this series has come just in front of point. More often than not, there would be a gap there. There would be a sweeper point, so the single is on every time play in that region. More often than not, that is. But something that I want to ask both of you, WB and Mithali, is again, the next big challenge is going to England, playing against England, where the conditions would be a tad bit different, little more pace, little more swing. Is something that you reckon that she needs to be mindful of?
Just a single on that occasion for Smriti Mandana. Yes, as far as the English weather is concerned, there's no predicting that. So it depends on what kind of a summer that's prevailing when the cricketers go there. If it's nice and warm and sunny, obviously good pitches will be available for the batters. They're playing a lot of white ball cricket there. 3 ODIs and 5 T20Is. That's what is scheduled for them in England. We'll get to that part of it in the next over. 109 without loss, India.
India and South Africa in the 90s.
A lot of white ball cricket
always
there.
A super hitter. Every single fast bowler in my colony wanted some of this. And if you manage to pull off a stunning catch, catch pakada re Jonty. All of India showered their love on these guys.
True story.
But as true fans, we want to watch cricket's future heroes before everyone else. So I'm off to South Africa to see tomorrow's T20 stars in the making.
Too many boundary deliveries so far. 13 fours, 2 sixes. That would be the biggest learning for the young Irish bowling unit. Consistency, the discipline, especially on these kind of surfaces. Look at those economy rates. Pretty high apart from Dempsey and Sargent. Everyone's gone for plenty. Eva Koenig over 6. Back for a second spell. We were talking about Pratika's setup and how she plays predominantly through offside, and if you look at that setup, that open face of the bat, there is a tendency of slicing at times. It was really open, and that's the reason a lot of those shots are right of where I guess she would ideally want to play them. Or thick outside edge. Yeah, boundary for Smriti.
She was looking to make room for powering the ball through the offside, but she realized there's not much of pace available for her. So she had to make a bit of last-minute adjustment, make sure she had some contact, and she does it well to play fine and pick up a boundary.
I think if we come back to the English conditions and the team, I think England team has one of the best quality spin attack with Eccleston and the leg spinner. Dean Jones has a off spinner, so they have all-round spinners, and they're one team which bowls to the field. You might not get freebies that often against England, and playing England in England is a challenge.
Yeah, Charlie Dean, Eccleston make up the attack. They're very good as a spinning unit. And the challenge is not just adapting to the conditions per se when you're playing cricket. It's also about what kind of a tourist you're going to be when it comes to adapting to the food and the various things that you may not get when you're traveling in a different country. That's also a challenge for some cricketers if they're not really looking to adapt off the field as well. Then they might struggle on the field.
One thing I can guarantee you, there won't be an issue as far as food is concerned in England.
Yes, but not on the match days when you go to the venues. talk to a cricketer who's been on a tour of England, ask him if he's had different breakfast over a period of 2 months, you'll know the answer.
Eight runs from that over, 117 without loss. It's also time for a drinks break.
This January, your favorite teams will test their limits and your patience. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United versus Brighton. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Catch all the matches live on Disney Plus Hotstar and the Star Sports Network. Co-presenting digital streaming sponsors Acco, Jaguar and Google Pixel smartphones.
जो प्यार था,
Will you marry me?
उसने धोखे का मतलब सिखाया। तारा, आज तुमने शिवा की मासूमियत को ही उसका गुनाह बना दिया, जिसका हिसाब ये अभिमन्यु लेगा।
Have we met before?
Have we? मोहब्बत का फरेब करके जैसे तुमने मुझे बर्बाद किया था, वैसे ही मैं तुम्हें बर्बाद कर दूंगा तारा।
No teams that you can take lightly.
It's England, dangerous batting lineup. Such a confident Indian side, just oozing with talent. This should be quite a contest.
India versus England, first T20I, 22nd January, only on Disney Plus Hotstar and Star Sports.
हमारा वर्ल्ड एलिमेंट से बना है, तो अब इमेजिन कर कि हर एक एलिमेंट एक इंसान के अंदर हो।
The 61 on 47, while Pratika's on 45 of 49. It's a new pair, and a pair that has really done well. 400-run partnerships in last 6 innings says it all. Especially today, when it comes to Smriti, she's looked in a different kind of a mindset, looking to play a lot more shots. Doesn't mind if they're aerial. In fact, most of her boundary shots has been aerial.
Yeah, it's been a big challenge for the Ireland bowlers because the pitch has been flat. These two openers have been in good nick, and that's the reason none of the bowlers have had any kind of success whatsoever, and they've conceded a lot of runs as well by way of boundaries. The other problem they seem to have is in their discipline. A lot of wides bowled too. A good crowd coming along at this venue. A lot of young students have been brought to this venue. 117 is the partnership worth so far of 99 deliveries. Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rahul. Fourth century partnership between these two. And they got along well like a house on fire as an opening partnership.
Dempsey to bowl her fourth. She's been nice and tight so far. She 8 runs previous 3 overs that she's bowled.
Well, I beg your pardon, it was Charlie Dean, the off-spinner from England, Sarah Glenn, the leg spinner. And why I talk about the spinners is Pratika Rahul was dismissed thrice against West Indies at home for spinners. Twice against Hayley Matthews. So the quality of spin attack in the England bowling department is top-notch. So that also could be a challenge for her.
As any overseas tour is a challenge, for the simple reason things are totally different, and you're also looking to re-establish your credentials because you played at home at the start of your career. You got off to a good start, and then you're looking at scoring runs while on tour, and that's what adds to a little bit of pressure as well.
And being in kind of form that Pratika's in definitely does help. And the kind of start she's got to her ODI career. And also the basic structure is, she looks so sorted, and obviously it seems, even though she's just 24 very early, but she looks very calm. And that's such an important aspect of any cricketer. Steps out. Another six, another maximum of Smriti's bat. She's on a roll.
Using the feet, not a surprise. Going over the top, not a surprise. But going over long on is the biggest surprise, because Smriti Mandhana generally prefers to go over the top through the offside. And she's done that way over long on. Clean as a whistle. Getting leg side of the ball, and the flourish. And the bat swing, absolutely magnificent.
Ooh, one bounce to Eva Koenig.
When she plays with timing, she looks so graceful when in all those shots. That's something that she would want to continue. That clears a 72-meter distance. 6 over, long on.
A third in a row for Pratika. Right through this series. Back to back 50s for Pratika. 51 of just 52. Another half century for this young player from Delhi. Her fourth in just 6 innings. 17 overs gone, 131 without loss. India, as Pratika get to another half century.
Watch the new season of SA20 live on Disney Plus Hotstar, Star Sports 2, Star Sports 2 HD, and Sports 18 2.
Yeah. Smashed in for 6, big bombs. Myers and it goes. Richard.
She's in the mood. She wants to get there as soon as possible. She's missed it a few times this series already. She's in a hurry, Smriti.
Replica of the previous over. Takes a good stride. And what's more heartening to see is she has a very good stable head, and that is what is helping her to keep her position.
These two have been really good, these openers. Both of them have got to their half centuries. Pratika was a tad late compared to Smriti Mandhana to get there, and she does this with nonchalance. Just stood and delivered one bounce into the fence. And the chutzpah to have playing a shot well on 46 is an indication of the confidence that she has about her batting and her ability in general.
Oh, that's missing leg. What a series for Pratika. Or rather the whole ODI career. It's just 6 innings. This is her 6th. Average of 68, 450s. Her best is 89. She might want to change that here, this game.
Yeah, there was some talk about how she sets herself up But what she's done is that she's made a few adjustments to her setup between now and the West Indies series that she made a debut in. And it's always good to see cricketers making those adjustments which they think will help them to become better.
Well, that's what I was implying last over. But a very matured head. The way she's managed so far, series against West Indies, here against Ireland. Very calm. She doesn't look like she's 24 and just playing her 6th innings. Oh, that's poor. Straight through. Eva Koenig won't be happy at all with that effort. 11 from that over, 142 without loss.
Yet another half century for the opener from Delhi who plays for Railways. Starts off in good fashion, absolutely in control of shots when she plays behind fine. He's also resorted to playing a sweep shot against the spinners. And not afraid to go over the top as well.
Uh, 18 overs gone, and they're going at almost 8 and over. Another tough day for the Irish bowlers. Nicely bowled.
Deep, you're talking about this being a tough day for Ireland bowlers, but they also made it tough on themselves by bowling quite a few wides, and not having the support on the field as well is making matters worse for them.
Alana Dalzell now back into the attack. After the first game, Gabby Lewis, the captain, spoke about how good they were on the field, taking catches, even basic outfield. But then last game wasn't that great. And so far, good shot, no two ways about it. But straight to the fielder, Sargent. She wouldn't want to look at that. Three boundary riders on the onside now. Mid-wicket pushback. It's good bowling to a field.
Well, I'm told that the two games that Ireland won against Sri Lanka, the ODI, Ola Pendergast and Dalzell opened the innings, the bowling innings. Sometimes we wonder what brought the change. Ola Pendergast opening with Eva Koenig. When you have Dalzell who's already bowled with a new ball and you would want to have a good start.
Ooh, got away with that.
Well directed, would you say?
All's well that ends well. Now this much better from Alana Dalzell. You've got three fielders on the deep. You bowl to your field. It's a kind of bowl wicket to wicket, because as the ball gets older, start getting a little slower as well off the surface. Might not bounce as much either. A good over this. Just 4 singles from it. 146 without loss.
India and South Africa in the 90s there, always a super hit affair. Every single fast bowler in my colony wanted some of this. And if you manage to pull off a stunning catch, catch pakada re Jonty, all of India showered their love on these guys.
True story.
But as true fans, we want to watch cricket's future heroes before everyone else. So I'm off to South Africa to see tomorrow's T20 stars in the making.
Yeah, Dempsey and Dalzell has been really good in terms of providing control that Gabby Lewis would want. For that blistering start by Pratika and Smriti. 190 without loss after the first. Yeah, versus pace, the boundaries that she's got. She's extremely good. Square off the wicket, no two ways about it. But then, yeah, it's very difficult as of now to pick any holes in her game. She's good all around the park, down the ground, on the onside as well.
Decisive in what she does is Pratika Rahul. That's why she gets a good stride out in front when she plays shots of the front foot. Then when she plays late, she plays it really late. But all the while, the contact is right beneath her eyes. That's why she's been able to play those shots with the amount of control that we've seen.
Only get a single. And also in general, a strike rate has been quite high right through this series. But never ever for a moment it seemed like she was trying too hard. Very easy on the eye. That's a strike rate. 89 of 96, 67 of 61, 59 today of 60. Almost run a ball. Better than run a ball rather. 4. Down leg side again. The 150 partnership comes up, and this for the first time in women's ODI, or rather second time in women's ODI, that our opening pair have got back-to-back 150-run partnership.
This is a different Smriti Mandhana we're seeing in the last 12 months or so. Down on one knee and playing a sweep of a medium pacer, and playing it with such confidence.
A bit of a slog this time. Maybe a little premeditated.
Who said Smriti Mandhana can't be inelegant at times?
Another 100-plus partnership, another 150-plus partnership. I think that came off the pads. No, not really. I need to re-bowl that. Another wide. 7 wide so far in this innings. Not even 20 overs completed.
It's definitely compounding their problems, these wides.
At 20 overs gone, 157 without loss India. In 90 of the first 10 and the next 10, 67 without losing a wicket. This is the best opening partnership between these two. 157 without loss, India. Dalzell to continue. Oh, slow delivery. Induces the outside edge. But it's in the gap. Another boundary.
Not exactly where she intended, but she'll take the result because she's been in a hurry in the last few overs. And this is exactly what she's looking for. To deal with boundaries as the main currency.
Why should she not when she's able to access all parts of the ground?
Chips it over extra cover. There is protection in the deep.
Pitched away from her, but she still gets into the position to clear the infield.
Another wide. Very disciplined in her first over, Dalzell. A little wayward in this one.
I just think the line has been a problem for the Ireland bowlers. They've been up against this right-left combination. And both of them play shots all around the wicket.
Was in the air for a while. Oh, once two. It's good running.
Smriti Mandhana running 2 when she's in her 90s. That's an improvement.
But it's only taken 62 deliveries to get to a 90. Didn't really have to work that hard. We talk about 9 4s and 4 6s. It's innings. Another wide.
When you start the over with a boundary and then you're already bowled wide, you can't be standing the over. You're not serving the purpose of bowling even dot balls.
The last wide got a little harsh, was inside the tram line. Well, that's very nicely played. Deft touch. Extremely fine. It wasn't a bad delivery at all.
Minimum of effort from Pratika Rawal, and she's got a boundary. Deft touch from her, allowing the ball to come on to her, just guiding it at the last minute. Good use of the wrist. Nicely played.
Takes a lot to play that shot as fine as that. Supple wrist. Very good timing there.
I brought about the point of running the 2s because Pratika Rawal is brought in that dimension as well into their partnership, because Smriti Mandhana and Shafali Verma did not look to push hard, but Pratika Rawal is different. She's always made a partner really hustle along.
At the point that, in fact, Smriti emphasized after the last game, how important that is, how important this partnership, the running between, rotation of strike. 14 from that over, 171 without loss, India.
हमारा वर्ल्ड एलिमेंट से बना है, जैसे वाटर, विंड, फायर एंड अर्थ। तो अब इमेजिन कर कि हर एक एलिमेंट एक इंसान के अंदर होगी।
जो प्यार था,
Will you marry me?
उसने धोखे का मतलब सिखाया। तारा, आज तुमने शिवा की मासूमियत को ही उसका गुनाह बना दिया, जिसका हिसाब ये अभिमन्यु लेगा। मैं तुम्हें बर्बाद कर दूंगा तारा।
Happy with the team's outing so far. It's been a learning for them. It's been a onslaught for the two openers. We're still not at the halfway mark of the match. We're into the 22nd over and it's a 172 without loss already on the board. Isabel and Shivani, this will be a long day. You feel for the Irish girls.
Most definitely. Started with the toss. You would of course want to bat on this surface because we know it's going to slow down in the second innings. Might even keep low on occasion. Goes over extra cover. Sweeper comes around. And a couple of runs. Good running. Brisk between the wickets.
One of the first times they've really had to get a move on with the running between the wickets. But Prathika Rowell, as soon as it was hit, she was the one who initiated the second run. She was back with time to spare. And I suppose that's what happens when you hit so many boundaries. They still have plenty of energy. So with the bowling, there are other options that maybe Gabby Lewis was toying with in the last couple of days. I know Laura Delaney not comfortable bowling after that first game. She would have been usually bowled first, second change, so she's obviously not being used today. Leah Paul bowled left arm spin, that's how she got into the team. But definitely has made, I think she made a decision during this summer that bowling was going to take a back seat, and in fact she hasn't been bowling because she wanted to focus on her batting. You just wonder if maybe she might jog into Gabby Lewis and say, okay, I'll take the ball, because Ireland are in desperate need of another spinner. And the other option would be Sarah Forbes, who bowls a bit of off spin. Very, very slow through the air, but maybe 1 or 2 overs. You never know. If the surprise of the lack of pace, maybe you could take a wicket, but Gabby Lewis as well bowls a little bit of off spin, a little bit of seam. So just maybe pass the ball around, try and keep changing it up, and ask a few players who maybe haven't been lined up, haven't been looked at before, to have a chance. Sarah Forbes, of course, will have to open the batting later on, but it's Arlene Kelly. She's gone for 30 already in under 3 overs, which, that's bad signs for Ireland, because she's usually one of the most miserly.
Six runs off that over, 177 without loss. And also, looking at the projected score, India is going along at 8.05 runs and over. They continue. 402 is on the cards. At 10, 457. At 12, 513. $177 without loss. 22 overs bowled. Just talking about it being a long day for Ireland. You look at India's current run rate, they're going along at over 8 runs and over. And that'll take them to over 400, 401 from here on. And all the other possibilities when you look at runs per over. Everything is more than that, so that is a very, very long day.
Yeah, they're pegged back by the absence of Amy Maguire. Picked up 3 wickets in that first match. Unavailable for the remaining 2 games. Wasn't selected even though there was an option. Not the easiest for a younger player to take the reasons for that, but it's still early days for her in international cricket, and once she can improve, make corrective measures, certainly will be an asset to this lineup.
Yeah, spot on. And having had a look at Amy practicing yesterday, as they come back for a second, having had a look at her yesterday, it looks like those corrections are already being made. She's new to off spin, to left arm spin. Used to bowl left arm seam, swung the ball back in, but such is the prevalence of spin in particular, but left arm spin, that she was asked to change, and it's been fruitful. Maybe we all know bowling actions change over time, so she just needs to change it again. Well done by Christina Coulter-Riley to get something behind that. That was very wide down leg side. Well, Smriti Mandana, we've spoken about how brilliant she is in form. She'll be looking for the 3 figures. 97. She'll look to go past the highest score in the series so far as well. That was Jemima Rodriguez. It's okay, I'm allowed to say these things as I'm from Ireland. So 97 not out from 68, so at a really impressive rate as well.
The manner in which she's batting today, or the focus on the shots that she's offered Smriti Mandana, that is not just about getting a milestone or getting the score, crossing someone. I think she's just trying to test herself out there. The kind of form that I've been in the last year, where she amassed 747 runs, to the year, the way she started. To be fair, even if there are not so many testing deliveries, barring one opportunity, it's about identifying if she can press the pedal a bit more. Just Pratika Rawal has done over here. A boundary on the onside, adding to that total for India.
Another fine tickle here. Pratika Rawal not going to miss out. Anything on leg stump or outside. Such good wrists. And even though there is a short fine in position, she plays it finer than that fielder with such ease.
You can see what Alana Dalzell's trying to do. She's trying to bowl right up under the eyes of Rawal, but it's supposed to be on the stump. It's not on leg stump. So it just shows the small margins for error. Fortunately, Ireland have been erring a good bit. 2 players are difficult to bowl to, and we've seen that because of the wagon wheels we've been able to look at. They score all around the ground.
Yes, they've been impressive. Both these batters have been extremely consistent. Dot to finish the over, 188 without loss.
This January, your favorite teams will test their limits and your patience. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United versus Brighton. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Catch all the matches live on Disney Plus Hotstar and the Star Sports Network. Co-presenting digital streaming sponsors Acco, Jaguar and Google Pixel smartphones.
Might want to come back for the second. There's an opportunity. Fastest ever 100 for India, coming from Smriti Mandana. A 10th century to her. What a year she's had in 2024. What a way she started in 2025.
Just keeps getting better, and what a way to bring it about. Her classical shot through extra cover. So fitting for her first century of 2025. We kept on thinking every match that she would get there, but it's taken the third one from just 70 deliveries and done with her consummate elegance.
It started with a 41 this series, and 2025 has gotten better with each passing game, 40-70, and now getting to that three-figure mark. As you mentioned, first of this year. Absolutely brilliant, and smiles all around in the dressing room.
We always talk about consistency at the international level and getting better of your previous performances. Pratika Rawal is definitely one of those players to watch out for, but the one at the other end, Smriti Mandhana, 71 deliveries for her 101, and 70 deliveries she got to 100, which is the fastest by an Indian, and a strike rate of 142. And just the manner in which she would have wanted to come out and construct an international 100. Doesn't matter the opposition, doesn't matter the venue. It's about how you're able to play your shots and how you're able to come out on top against any opposition. And those numbers certainly indicate a story.
And decent conversion rate, 30-50s, 10-100s.
It's just a continuation from where she left. It's an area which has been preferred by Smriti Mandhana today, and it's an area which has been giving her enough of plight and happiness.
5th 6 for her today. Usually more boundaries, more fours, but this time, today she's gone aerial. The highest number of maximums Smriti Mandhana has hit in an innings already. And a little bit of a misfield there on the boundary allows a 4 as well. And India get past 200. 24 overs gone, 202 without loss.
Definitely something that Ireland could have done without another misfield on the boundary, and I think maybe just some frayed thinking far too high up before she approached that ball, Alana Dalzell. I say you should come in like an airplane. She was very upright, just left it slightly too late. Adding insult to injury there for Arlene Kelly.
That's a score that the Indian team will be extremely pleased at. Getting to that halfway mark as Orla Prendergast returns to 3 expensive overs. It's just been one person who's taken the attack to the opposition, who's already got to 100, Smriti Mandhana. Kind of sixes we've seen from her bat, the kind of maximums, 5 of them so far. She's never ever hit 5. In fact, no one in the team has hit 5 maximums in one single game. It's not done yet.
Beats the extra cover fielder. Pratika Rawal, elegant as ever, with that cover drive, and finds another boundary.
What a privilege for Pratika Rawal to learn under the tutelage of the woman down the other end, Smriti Mandhana. But she has her own game. She's so brilliant through the offside, and well, while Ireland are worrying about Mandhana down the other end, Pratika Rawal is accumulating nicely.
The only feeling one That's why looking at Pratika Rawal right now is that in the last 3 or 4 deliveries, you feel that she's trying to hit the ball too hard. She's trying to muscle it through that offside region. There have been a couple which have landed slightly short of either the extra cover fielder or the mid-off fielder. Losing her shape in the bargain.
Well, maybe she's seen the 3 figures being got to down the other end and thinks, my turn. So she's been waiting for Smriti Mandhana to get to the 3 figures, and now maybe she's going to try and accelerate.
And sometimes you just need to tell yourself, let me not match stroke to stroke, let me just go around and play my own game at my own end and start again. Because there can be an opportunity where you, without realizing, fall into a bad habit, or sometimes try to do an extra bit which is not really required.
And this pair, they've done that well at different times, not just today, but so far in their 6 innings. Ebb and flow according to the situation. At times Smriti has been the aggressor, at times Pratika the aggressor.
Top stuff this, yet again from Smriti Mandhana.
Taking on that fielder as well. It was a long on, in position, but went straighter. Usually she goes where there is no fielder, but this time taking them on and finding success yet again.
Well, she's got to 100 at such quick time. I think she just trusts to her power and her timing.
And again, won't get to the boundary as a maximum, but it can, just can, beat the fielder for a 4 in the bargain. Expensive over, 217 without loss.
Yeah. Smashed in for 6, big bombs. Myers and it go. Richardson knocks him over.
KFC Big Bash League, 15th December to 27th January.
मोहब्बत का फरेब करके जैसे तुमने मुझे बर्बाद किया था, वैसे ही मैं तुम्हें बर्बाद कर दूंगा तारा। अब कदम मेरा अगला देखना। प्यार तो देखा, अब मेरा बदला देखना।
Slightly different wagon wheel today for her. A lot of leg side shots. You see those maximums. So the bowlers have also had to try to adapt, because normally you think offside game, but today she's taken them more to the leg side.
Most runs, the Naman most runs is 2024, 2025. It's still early on. Wow, have a look at that. Amazing. Smriti Mandhana right at the top. Oh, you're wondering who could come on for Ireland, because it looks like all of the bowlers struggling today. Laura Delaney. Well, this is the last ball. So unlucky. It's one of those days. Arlene Kelly did well, dived for it and found her own boot. She looks to get it back in off the boundary, but unfortunately for her, she found the laces of her right foot. And Laura Delaney, so important in terms of bowling for Ireland, and usually would bowl 10 overs every single game. Wicket taker as well, usually bowls at the death. She's the person that, certainly when I was captain, when you looked around and you're wondering who could you throw the ball to, she was it. Even when we had Kim Garth in the team, that was the case. So hopefully that was a little wobble in game 1, but
and then you let her go. That's Kim Garth I'm talking about, who's not in this list, of course. Laura Delaney is the new bowler, who did bowl in the first one-day international, but didn't complete her quota, was bowling with an injured hand. Expensive. And then you let Kim Garth go.
Yeah, I said off you go, Kim. And we definitely, it wasn't a case of letting go. It was, I think, Kim always wanted to play professionally, as we all did growing up. That wasn't an option for certainly for my generation. She was probably the last to leave, and unfortunately when contracts came in, she was already pretty much settled in Australia. Had those brilliant rookie years playing WBBL for the Sixers, where she got to play with Elise Perry and Elisa Healy. And yeah, I think that was the kind of story of the tale. They saw when they had a good thing, they wouldn't let her go.
Just add one more to that list of the maximums that have come out of Smriti Mandhana's bat today.
That was a good ball from Laura Delaney on the stumps, but Smriti Mandhana just dismissing it yet again from her presence. Gets into a great position and climbs into it. Here's that front leg and unleashes.
Yeah, not a bad ball by any stretch. If you had to criticise, maybe a tiny bit wide. Keeps it tight. Mandhana looks to her down. Ava Canning thought she was in with a chance there, but even the miss hits coming off for Smriti Mandhana today. When it's your day, you got to make hay. 226 for none after 26.
Who's ready to come in and bat next? Massive question. If you're in that batting order, in that dressing room, who's padded up for the longest period?
All nine. All nine Indian batters to come padded up, jostling to come out and have a go on this pitch. Well, the sixes have been a big difference for Smriti Mandhana. Slightly outside off stump, if you can have any criticism of Laura Delaney.
A few things that they've possibly looked at this six and said that what are the areas that we like to cover the ground? What are the areas that we like to be more consistent in bowling? Which side of it? The way that Smriti Mandhana has played those shots, it's not a lot of square of the wicket, it's a lot straighter down the ground. The surface is very much conducive for stroke play, and what she's done best in this innings is the fact that she has just timed the ball.
I was just going to ask, is anyone going to bowl around the wicket to Smriti Mandhana? Maybe try and cramp her up, and as if on cue, Orla Prendergast round the wicket. Mid off, mid on, inside the ring. She strengthened up square leg, fine leg is out. It's quite a straight cover, so the gap is in front of point.
Length was the key, and Orla Prendergast just got that completely wrong.
She moves well inside the line of the ball. And then just helps it along. Nice swivel, nice pivot. Well in control of that shot. And although there are three fielders on the leg side there, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, fine leg, she still bisects that field.
Yeah, well, the problem with this field is with the women's game only having 4 out, you're almost telling the batter what you have to bowl. Third inside, and quite a wide third as well. You can see point and third close together because they know how good Smriti Mandhana is at guiding the ball through that area. So she has to bowl straight. And if she gets full, she's worried about mid off, mid on. So she's changed it. Fine leg coming in, long on going back. Allows her to bowl that fuller length.
Good work on the line. The batter has come back for a second run. The placement as well. When you look at Smriti Mandhana and her batting today, a lot of the sixes that she scored, which have gone towards long gone, were just wider. A lot of those balls normally she just knocked down the ground for a single. But she's cleared that front leg and allowed the bat swing to come through and taken it over the ropes.
The first real happy moment for the Irish girls. Seeing the back of Smriti Mandhana. A sharp catch. Nicely taken at short fine leg. And all up Prendergast has the first wicket.
One short of her highest score, Smriti Mandhana, and a poor delivery, it has to be said, down leg side. It seems like the only way Ireland were going to get her out today was a bit of luck. And lucky Ava Canning, one of the taller players, in the right place. They just brought her in, and maybe that's why Smriti Mandhana felt like she could take her on, but didn't get the elevation. Well, they've been waiting for something to smile about for a very long time, this Ireland side, but what a privilege it's been to watch Smriti Mandhana go about this 135 from just 80 deliveries, strike rate 169. India 230.
It's India who win the T20 World Cup. What's his moment like, Rohit? Look. Today it was. It's meant.
Smriti Mandhana, 135 to her name. India 233, and Richa Ghosh, who's not had a lot of batting to do in this series so far, has been promoted up the order ahead of Harleen Diol. So now we know who was ready to come into bat.
We know who won the race anyway.
This is why Richa Ghosh is out there now against the run of play. A bit of luck, but a good catch there from Ava Canning. She had to move to her left and held on to it. It was traveling at pace. But what an innings from Smriti Mandhana, leading from the front. Her first century of 2025. .233 for one.
हमारा वर्ल्ड एलिमेंट से बना है, जैसे वाटर, विंड, फायर एंड अर्थ। तो अब इमेजिन कर कि हर एक एलिमेंट एक इंसान के अंदर है।
जो प्यार था,
Will you marry me?
उसने धोखे का मतलब सिखाया। तारा, आज तुमने शिवा की मासूमियत को ही उसका गुनाह बना दिया, जिसका हिसाब ये अभिमन्यु।
Richa Ghosh, we're used to seeing her come in the middle order. That's an opportunity at 3. Laura Delaney, well, she came on to bowl in the last over. We were happy to see her. She won't be happy to see that. 4 more. Too easy that from Prathika Darwal. Just had to follow the ball around.
Well-controlled paddle from Rawal. It's very good leg side. She doesn't miss out. Just has to help it along. And that's what she does.
And she'll be thinking as well of her 3-figure mark. Pratika Rawal has had good outings, 89 and 67 in the first 2 games. She'll be aware of Richa Ghosh, who's walked in at number 3 to construct an innings. But what is it on her own end? How can she manage to get to that first 100 of hers? It's a massive difference. Easy and Shivani, you would agree. Between a 70 and 100 and an 80 and 100, it's a massive difference for a batter.
Well, there's no stats to say how many 80s you got, are there? It's all about 50s and 100s. And in T20, to be fair, 30s as well. I think what we're seeing is her deciding, look, I can go down the gears again. Going at the ball, as you said, Anjum, too hard hasn't really worked for her in the last few overs. I think she was kind of getting swept up in the Smriti Mandhana hitting phase, but now there's a new partnership to cultivate. Maybe she'll just knock the ball around. She knows Richa Ghosh won't be hanging around for too long, so scoring rate's not an issue.
There's plenty of time left in this innings as well. It's only the 28th over, and Pratika Rawal is striking at better than run a ball as well. She hasn't played slowly at all. It's just that Smriti Mandhana was absolutely brilliant. 169 strike rate today.
Well, it's amazing. Just a wicket sometimes means that for just an over or two, batters start to find the fielders. So Ireland have had a few balls, that one to Orla Prendergast, an earlier one to Gabby Lewis, whereas before it seemed that all there was gaps.
The second ball down leg side. The first one, of course, Pratika Rawal paddling it at this time. Richa Ghosh missing out.
Just looks a little bit stiff in her action, Laura Delaney. Not quite finishing it off. She want to finish the over off this time. Just going at it too hard there, Richa Ghosh. A dot to finish it out. 28 gone. 239 for one, India.
Yes, 7 bowlers been used so far. The only wicket that has fallen, it's form of Smriti Mandhana. Prendergast, in that bit expensive. Dempsey starts off with another wide, so that's wide number 13th of the innings. Mid-off, mid-on inside the circle. Yeah, just looking at that wicket of Smriti Mandhana, if you look at that field, was a little different. Mid-on was sent back, fine leg brought inside the circle. Because if you look at the number of sixes that she's hit, 7 of them in total, most of them were in that region. And then the field was changed, mid-on sent back, and this is what happened then, the next ball. Got the toe end of the bat, not really the middle. The idea was to play over the infield, but unfortunately only found Eva Koenig. And Smriti was looking extremely good again. 135 or just 80. It seemed like with the WPL around the corner, she was getting ready for it. Under edge. Gets off the mark after 5 deliveries, Richa. And it's good to see Richa coming up the order. Got the overs to kind of build an innings. More often than not, her role is very, very different to finish off innings.
I think in that Indian batting order, Richa is the only one who didn't get a 50, though she had 2 outings, the last 2 ODIs, but hardly few balls. This is a good opportunity for her to set her eye in, to build an innings again, to get some runs.
But that's how she bats. Doesn't matter how many overs are left. She's going to bat her own way. Over mid-off for a boundary.
And I think that's how she should bat as well, because she's a good striker of the cricket ball. And a good foundation has been set by the openers. The pitch is good for batting. Good flourish straight away from Richa Ghosh.
A powerful hitter. Match winner for sure. Will adjust it. Saw her coming out of a crease that bit shorter. 247 for 1 Indian after 29 overs. It's time for a drinks break.
This January, your favorite teams will test their limits and your patience. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United versus Brighton. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Catch all the matches live on Disney Plus Hotstar and the Star Sports